DISA puts out a nice tool for getting the DoD root certificates and intermediate certificates, and also doing a few other things with them as far as exporting them, cleaning up old ones, etc. But I haven't found any good videos on demonstrating it, so I thought I would do a quick little demonstration. Hopefully it's quick on this tool. So first of all, to get the tool, the best way I've found is to actually just search on Bing or Google for InstallRoot download, and you can see it's on this iase.disa.mil website right now. If you go to that website, just iase.disa.mil, actually, it's a little bit hard to navigate this page, I think, but anyway, so on this left-hand side here, you go to PKE. Let's see, where is it? Oh, DoD PKE, PKI PKE. Okay, so let's click on that. Goes to here, and then it's on this tools page. So on this tools page, there's a bunch of different tools that are good. One of them is the FBCA cross-site cert remover tool and the guide, but the one we're looking for is under Trust Store, and you've got the 32-bit, 64-bit, and then the one for non-administrators. But we're going to download the 64-bit installer that is for administrators. You can see I've actually got it downloaded already. So once it's downloaded, what I'm going to do, there it is. I'm just going to run it as an administrator. And do the install wizard. So I'm going to be demonstrating the graphical interface, but there's also a command line tool, and it runs as a Windows service if you have that box checked, which it is by default. So I'm just going to keep the defaults and install it. Okay, now I'm going to close instead of running it, because what I want to show you is with this Microsoft Management Console snap-in, there's a certificate snap-in. So if I add a snap-in, you can see certificates here. Let me click that and click add. Now when I click add, I have a few different choices: my user account, service account, or computer account. I've already added my user account and computer account, so I'm going to cancel out of this. And you can see here's the local computer account and there's the user account. So these are different stores, and they'll have different certificates in them. So what I want to show you is first current user, because that's the store that you'll see if you run InstallRoot not as an administrator. So let's look under Trusted Root Certificate Authorities in the certificates. You'll see there's 44 certificates, and then in the intermediate, same thing, certificates, there's 74. And I've actually already got some of the DoD certificates in there, although I did remove some just for demonstration purposes. So let's go ahead and open this. Okay, so right off you see this Microsoft Current User tab. That means that I'm working as the current user, which corresponds to this current user. Okay, so just to make that clear, so the way this tool works, if you see these little question marks, you can hover over them. It tells you more details on them, but this is really the one that you want, is the DoD certificates. This one is the external certificate authority. Let's see, it says for DoD partners who do not possess common access cards. Typically you're not going to do that one, and then also this one as well. This one is even less common. So this is for the test command. So it says you know, it's only to be installed in test and dev environments, not operational systems. So anyway, I'll just leave this the way they are, but you see this little green check mark icon in this. If I click it, it'll toggle it on and off. So there's an X, and you'll see that subscribed column is going from a red X to a green check mark when I toggle it. So you want to leave that green check mark, these red X's, and then let's just go ahead and click install certificates, and it didn't do any because I already had those. Okay, so that was kind of a not that interesting of a demonstration because I had those already. But let's go ahead and restart it. Restart as administrator. It says, do you want to save changes? I'll go ahead and click yes. Okay. So now it's restarting as administrator, and you see this has changed to Microsoft Local Computer. Okay, so this is going to make a difference here, actually. When I do this, I can make this bigger. Okay, so you see this installed column has red X's. That's indicating that those are not installed. That's because I manually removed them so I could demonstrate. Okay, so again, you want to have that as a green check mark so that you're subscribed on all these. They're not going to be installed yet until I click install. So let's before I do that, let me show you in this. So under local computer, root, we've got 40 certificates, and under intermediate we've got 12. Okay, so let's go ahead and install these. Okay, so it says 46 installed. As you can see, it installed all these. I could scroll through them. So let's go back here, and from 12, refresh. So now I've got 54. So it could put all those in there. Okay, same with this from 40 to 44. So it added 4 certificates there into the trusted root. Okay, so, and yeah, so like that one, for example, DoD root CA5. Okay, so let me show you this kind of a nice little feature which does where you can export these certificates. Let's say you needed for whatever reason you were CAC enabling some software or something and you needed all the DoD root certificates. You can actually export them all from this utility. So if I click that top one, let me just do these 4. So I'm going to hold shift and click that one. So I've got these 4. Let's see, it's under certificate. So here's the export section. I can export them in 3 different formats. PEM is the most common format. That is a plain text file. You can open it in a text editor like Notepad, and you'll see begin certificate, end certificate. DER is binary, so you're not going to be able to open it in a text editor, but that is used for some things. Now this PKCS7 is kind of nice when you've got multiple certificates because it puts multiple certificates in a single file. So let me just do that one and show you. So let's go to the desktop and just do exports, and you can see it's saving it as a P7B file extension. So let's click save. Okay. So now let's see, there's the directory. So there's one P7B file. If I open it, it's going to open it in the certificate MMC snap-in. And you can see there's the file there. But if I expand it, you can see all 4 of the certificates that I exported that are in that file. And of course you can double-click them, look at the details, or you can right-click them and export. If you wanted to export each one individually as a DER or a PEM, which is base 64. Okay, so, and then I might as well show you exporting 4 certificates as a PEM. So that is the plain text format. It's gonna create 4 different files, each as a plain text file. So let's do exports and say OK. Let's look in there now. It just created those 4 files, these CER files. Normally, if you double click it, it'll bring up all this information about the certificate. You can see all the details like the valid to and from and the subject and subject alt names or whatever. You can see this stuff, but if you open it in Notepad, you'll see that it is a plain text file. Begin certificate, all that, end certificate. Okay. So that is exporting certificates. The last thing I was going to show is the certificate cleanup. So this is pretty handy for removing compromised or expired or weak certificates. Typically, probably just expired certificates is what you're going to use it for. But so let's just click certificate cleanup. You get this window here, and first, this is the filter pane here on the left. But right now it says InstallRoot stores, and it's the Microsoft local computer store. Okay. So, and it's not showing anything over here, but as soon as I click something over here, it'll show. So if I do all countries, then it's going to show everything in there. None specified. Okay, so I'm just going to click all countries, and then this is going to filter it further. So see, this toggles the filter pane on or off, so I can click that. Anyway, so this is the filter pane, and if I check known compromised certificates, it's filtering for that, which it doesn't have any known compromised certificates that it finds, so that's good. And then this test, that's the if I would have installed some of those test certificates, this JITC, then it would find those and I could remove them there. Now this is the one where it's probably going to find some expired certificates. So it's got these 4 expired certificates. Let me sort it by expiration. Here we are, May 2019, so these just expired this year, just a few months ago. And also these checkboxes up here are if you want more columns to see more fields. So like key size, you can see that just gave me this key size field. All these keys are 2048-bit. You could also do the hashing algorithm, which these are SHA-1. You know, just these different columns here. Anyway, so these expired certificates, if I want to remove them, I could export them first, but when you remove them, it gives you the option to do that anyway. So I'm just gonna, using Shift, I'm gonna select all of them and then click Delete. So when I do that, it says, would you like to save them to a PKCS7 file first, which is again the single file with multiple certificates in it. So I'm going to click yes, and I will save it as before delete. Okay. Alright, 4 certificates successfully uninstalled. Alright, and if I look here, I have that before delete, the P7B file. I can open it and see those 4 certificates in there. So I could import them back in, and I could, you know, you can Alt-Task export again, but and so I could export them as individual files, and anyway, just work with them. Whether I'm saying, okay, I deleted them by accident, I can re-import them or whatever. But so it just removed those expired certificates. So to kind of just wrap it up, I'll show you that you can see under the local computer the trusted root CAs. There's 44. Let me refresh and see if that changes. Okay, so none of them were trusted root CAs, but they were intermediate. So if I click this, it's on 54 right now, but if I refresh it, it goes down to 50. So it removed those that were expired. And you know, it's got this column here, expiration date, so I can just sort by this and remove them using this tool. It is kind of nice to use this tool though from InstallRoot, just because you can filter on different things, and it automates a lot of things like the exporting of all of them as a single file and stuff like that. But anyway, that's basically InstallRoot.